October 22, 1991, New York City. Three of the biggest action stars on the planet stood together cutting a ribbon: Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Bruce Willis. Behind them, a massive neon sign proclaimed Planet Hollywood. This wasn't just a restaurant. This was going to be an empire. A global franchise combining celebrity glamour with themed dining. Movie memorabilia on every wall. A-list events constantly. The hottest brand in entertainment. Industry analysts predicted it would make the three stars billionaires. 8 years later, Planet Hollywood declared bankruptcy. Stock that had traded at $32 per share plummeted to under $1. The company lost hundreds of millions. And Stallone personally lost over $100 million. This is the story of Hollywood's biggest business disaster. The idea seemed brilliant. A Hard Rock cafe for movies. Hard Rock had proven the themed restaurant concept worked: music memorabilia, celebrity association, global brand recognition. Why not do the same for films? That's what founder Robert Earl proposed to Stallone, Schwarzenegger, and Willis in 1991. They'd be celebrity partners, investors, and public faces of the brand. Their star power would drive customers. Their film connections would provide authentic memorabilia. Their names would be synonymous with the restaurants. In exchange for their investment and promotional work, they'd own significant equity in the company. As Planet Hollywood expanded globally, that equity would be worth hundreds of millions. It was an irresistible pitch, especially to three actors who knew their action star careers wouldn't last forever. This was a way to build wealth beyond acting. Stallone invested heavily. Exact figures were never disclosed, but industry insiders estimate between $30 to $50 million initially. He also agreed to make personal appearances, promote the brand, and recruit other celebrities to join. Schwarzenegger and Willis made similar commitments. Together, the three became the faces of Planet Hollywood. The first location opened in New York in October 1991. It was an immediate sensation. Celebrities flooded opening night. Tourists lined up around the block. Media coverage was massive. The restaurant was packed every night for months. The walls were covered with authentic props: Rocky's gloves, Rambo's knife, actual costumes from blockbuster films. Screens played movie clips constantly. Waiters dressed in safari outfits. The whole experience was designed to make customers feel like they were inside Hollywood, and it worked. The New York location was wildly profitable. Based on that success, Planet Hollywood began rapid expansion. Los Angeles, London, Paris, Las Vegas, Miami, Chicago. Locations opened faster than the company could properly manage them. By 1995, Planet Hollywood had over 35 locations worldwide. The company went public in April 1996, and the stock soared. Opening day, $18 per share. Within months, $32 per share. On paper, Stallone's investment had tripled. He was worth over $100 million just from Planet Hollywood equity. He told friends he'd found the secret to permanent wealth. Action movies might end, but Planet Hollywood would last forever. He was catastrophically wrong. The problem started with overextension. Planet Hollywood was opening new locations before understanding if existing ones were sustainably profitable. The New York and LA locations thrived because they were in major tourist destinations. But locations in secondary markets struggled. Did Cancun need a Planet Hollywood? Did Atlanta? Did Cleveland? Apparently not. But the company kept opening them anyway, convinced the brand alone would drive traffic. It didn't. Many locations opened to big crowds initially, then saw business drop off dramatically after the novelty wore off. Meanwhile, the food was mediocre at best. Planet Hollywood charged premium prices, but delivered mediocre burgers and pasta. Customers came once for the novelty and memorabilia, then didn't return because the food wasn't worth the price. Hard Rock Cafe had the same issue but compensated with better locations and stronger nostalgic branding. Planet Hollywood couldn't sustain interest beyond initial curiosity. By 1997, financial problems were emerging. Several locations were losing money. The company was carrying massive debt from rapid expansion. Stock price started declining. Stallone, Schwarzenegger, and Willis tried to help. They made more appearances. They recruited more celebrities, Demi Moore, Whoopi Goldberg, others joined as investors. They did publicity tours. But celebrity appearances couldn't fix structural problems. The business model was flawed. Too many locations. Mediocre food, premium prices. Declining novelty. In 1998, the collapse accelerated. Multiple locations closed. Stock price plummeted from $32 to under $5. The company was hemorrhaging money, losing $100 million plus annually. Stallone watched helplessly as his investment evaporated. The equity he'd thought was worth over $100 million was becoming worthless paper. He invested more money trying to save the company, throwing good money after bad, as financial advisors call it. He personally guaranteed loans. He tried recruiting more investors. Nothing worked. The company was doomed. On October 13, 1999, Planet Hollywood filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. The news was devastating. Stock dropped to under $1 per share. Shareholders lost everything. The celebrity investors, Stallone, Schwarzenegger, Willis, Moore, Goldberg, lost their entire investments. For Stallone, the loss was catastrophic. Industry analysts estimate he lost between $100 to $120 million total, his initial investment. Additional investments trying to save the company, loans he'd personally guaranteed, and the opportunity cost of equity that had briefly been worth a fortune. $100 million, gone, evaporated in a failed restaurant venture. For Schwarzenegger, the damage was less severe. He'd been smarter about his investment, pulling back earlier when warning signs emerged. He lost money, but nowhere near what Stallone lost. Willis also lost millions, but like Schwarzenegger, he'd been more cautious about throwing good money after bad. Stallone had been the truest believer. He'd invested the most, held on the longest, and lost the most. The bankruptcy destroyed relationships between the celebrity partners. Stallone felt Schwarzenegger had bailed out early, leaving him holding the bag. Schwarzenegger felt Stallone should have been smarter about cutting losses. Their already complicated rivalry became even more strained. Money has a way of poisoning friendships. After bankruptcy, Planet Hollywood attempted to reorganize. New investors took control. The celebrity investors were diluted to almost nothing. Their once valuable equity became worthless shares in a restructured company they no longer controlled. Some locations survived, operating under new management with reduced celebrity involvement. But the dream of a global empire was dead. For Stallone, the Planet Hollywood disaster was devastating financially and emotionally. Financially, he'd lost over $100 million in a few years. That's generational wealth, erased. He was still wealthy, his film career had earned him hundreds of millions, but this loss was catastrophic. Emotionally, the failure hurt his pride. He'd believed he was a smart businessman. He'd thought his celebrity status guaranteed success in ventures beyond acting. He'd convinced himself he'd found a way to permanent wealth. He was wrong about all of it. And the wrongness cost $100 million. In interviews after the bankruptcy, Stallone was surprisingly candid about the failure. "I believed in Planet Hollywood completely. I thought it was the future. I invested everything I could, and I held on too long hoping it would turn around. That was stupid. I should have gotten out earlier. I let optimism override common sense." When asked what he learned, he said, "Stick to what you know. I'm an actor and filmmaker. I'm good at that. I'm not a restaurateur. I'm not a business mogul. Trying to be something I'm not cost me a fortune." Friends said the Planet Hollywood disaster changed Stallone's approach to money. He became much more conservative with investments. He hired better financial advisors. He stopped betting big on ventures outside his expertise. The collapse also taught him about the difference between celebrity and business acumen. Being a famous actor doesn't make you a smart investor. Stallone's name drew customers initially, but it couldn't fix fundamental business problems. Arnold Schwarzenegger, who lost less because he was more cautious, later reflected, "Planet Hollywood taught us all a lesson. Being famous doesn't mean being smart about business. We thought our names alone could make any business successful. We were wrong." Today, Planet Hollywood still exists in limited form, a few locations in tourist destinations, operating under different ownership. The celebrity investors are long gone, their equity worthless. The dream of a global empire? Dead. The belief that celebrity guaranteed business success? Shattered. Stallone's $100 plus million investment evaporated. This is the Planet Hollywood collapse, a cautionary tale about overextension, mediocre execution, and celebrities learning expensive lessons about business. Stallone lost more money on Planet Hollywood than most people will earn in multiple lifetimes. And the lesson cost every penny. Celebrity alone doesn't build businesses. Execution does. A lesson worth $100 million apparently.